he sang as he looked at the old Billy Boylan. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me?
How do you think this damper rates in terms of like
this will be just excellent. This will be the winner.
So what are the joys of damper cooking? Or are there joys? Are there joys?
There are joys because it's always a challenge and it never turns out the same, and you can always do so many different things with them. But I think what I like about it is it takes us back to our heritage and to the old days with the drovers and sitting by the campfire and all that, and it's a way for the young ones particularly to go back and experience a little bit of what that was like.
How much experience have you guys had in making dampers?
Just cooking it on camps, and I've cooked it a couple of times at home.
So, what's the best damper you've ever made? Do you make them traditional way, or do you add lots of things to them like the old grown-ups do?
Sort of mix and match, do some traditional ones, put some different ingredients and different others.
So what would you say was a traditional damper? If you were making a traditional damper, what would you put in it?
Self-raising flour, water and sugar.
Now that you've developed a bit in your recipes, what kind of things do you put in them?
Beer.
No. No.
Yes?
Self-raising flour, sugar, lemonade.
Lemonade?
Yeah.
You're not the guy who put a violet crumble bar in his damper.
No.
Oh, that was just a myth. What did you say? It's a little bit crunchy on the bottom.
Yeah, a little bit crunchy on the bottom. I'm not used to cooking in drums, but should taste okay.
So what went wrong, do you think?
Cooking in the drums. There's too much heat in the drums. We need to cook in the sand, but we weren't.
I normally would.
We weren't
in the
allowed
sand.
to do that this time.
Was that for reasons of fire or?
They said so, but I really don't think there's too much danger of a big fire in this creek at the moment.
I see. It doesn't look like it.
I didn't really believe it was I didn't believe it was a real problem, but they said we couldn't do it. So.
Well, that's interesting. I would concur that one of the essential elements of a damper is that you cook it in the sand.
Yeah.
Ingredients-wise, what are you looking at for your damper? Can you tell me?
Well, I've done two. One was a total experiment, which was banana and chocolate chip, and it tastes quite nice, but it's a little bit crunchy. And the other one is roast pumpkin, sun-dried tomatoes, a little bit of basil, and some,
Can't remember?
No, that's it, buttermilk.
At least no river sand.
No, not that I noticed yet. The judges will probably find out when they bite.
Is there beer in it? True.
No, I wasn't allowed to bring beer.
Oh, you wanted to put some beer in it?
Yeah, it tastes really good with it.
Yeah,
but I
well,
wasn't
there
allowed
is
to.
that sort of tradition of beer bread, isn't there? I suppose.
Yep.
So
that
she
would work,
says.
Yeah. And do you prefer a damper to ordinary bread?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
What about
probably.
you?
It's a bit sort of, I like warm stuff, sort of. Yeah. Warm bread.
Has more
bread.
flavour
I
than
see,
bread.
Yeah.
And one of the other contestants pointed out that they weren't allowed to cook in sand. Was that a bit of a handicap?
Yes and no, because it's definitely an advantage to cook in sand, but we dealt without sand.
I prefer the traditional damper because you can use it as a savoury, you can still dress it up as a sweet, but it's quite flavoursome in its own right.
And do you find that people that you cook for prefer that? Is that the kind of damper that they want to try? Or are they more interested in these gourmet dampers?
Most people have never tried a damper before, and to try the original recipe damper, flour and water, then they can go on to other stuff, and 9 out of 10 times they'll come back to the plain damper. Beautiful.
What's the benefit of cooking in sand, would you say?
That the damper's fully covered, I guess. Yeah.
Could you just perhaps, like, for the benefit of people who are looking at this and who've never cooked a damper, like, just what would be your basic way of going forward to make a damper?
Well, you make the batter, and then you'd get your coals ready, and then usually if you could use sand, dig a hole, then fill the coals, put the camp oven with your damper in, and then cover with coals.
So it's that simple, really?
Yeah.
But it's a little, you've got to get the coals right, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to burn it.
And not too cold either.
No.
So it won't cook.
Yeah.
And are you trying to replicate the best damper you've ever made?
Well, I know for a fact that these are going to be the best dampers I've ever made because they're the first dampers I've ever made.
The secret is revealed.
I have done camp oven cooking all my life, but my sister is the one that's got the bread and the dampers down, kind of down pat, and I've always done the stews and the roast and the veggies.
Right,
so these are definitely the best dampers I've ever made.
And he sang as he looked at the old Billy Boylan, who'll come a waltzing